Good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call to order this special called meeting. Thank you all for coming this morning. The first item on the agenda is agenda approval. That is this agenda. Is there a motion to approve this agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Tina. Second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave. That's really loud. Okay, we'll go to new business item number 1. This is, hold on. This is 0-25-04. This is the signed ordinance. I've asked Hugh to give a summary just for those of us who may have forgotten what was in the signed ordinance changes. Go ahead, Hugh, please.
So this is the recommendations made by the Planning and Zoning Commission to the sign ordinance. It includes changes to definitions, prohibited signs, flags, marketing for residential subdivisions, and the enforcement of signs. Council only recommended one change to what Planning and Zoning sent over, and that is to the section on flags. It changed who the flag provisions applied to. They struck the word any residence, so the provisions of the flag portion will only apply to businesses and institutions.
Any questions, anyone? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve 0-25-04, the sign ordinance. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Patricia. All in favor? Great, thank you. I have to back up because I did not ask for approval on the,
I do have that, you do.
okay.
Sure.
Okay, forget that, sorry. Okay, item number 2, 0-2025-05, this is the compensation for mayor and council. I'm going to open up to discussion before I make, or anybody makes the motion, because I
Thank
figured
you.
that there'd be lots of it.
Yeah.
So, anybody want to start the discussion?
I would. It's been a while since we spoke about this, so I'd like to rehash a little bit for my sake, make sure I'm clear, and also for the residents to kind of say how we got here. And from what I remember, Mayor, is that we had a meeting where we voted to either keep our compensation where it was, benefit-wise, or to look at an increase in salary as a cost reduction to the city. And that discussion went through, and it came out about 5-2 that we wanted to go with a cost reduction to the city and increased pay. And I believe everybody sitting up here voted yes, and we had 2 abstain.
Well, that's, correction, y'all didn't vote on it, y'all gave us, authorization to move forward with,
Right, it was, right, it wasn't an official vote, but it was who would like to move forward, which got us to move forward, where we went to staff and said, let's go ahead and put it in the newspaper, which we ran it in the newspaper. Ben, sitting in the audience, ran it in the newspaper. And at that point, we also authorized our attorney to come out and do the legal work so everything would be written properly, and our staff to go in and start looking at what the changes would be. That's kind of how I thought we got to where we're at. Am I remembering correctly? Because all we're voting on is salary, correct? It's not the benefit portion, and we wanted to separate that. Let's see. We spoke how this was not going to affect benefits, but it would do the salary. So what I assume today is we're going to be voting on a salary increase or not, period. Okay. Okay.
So I would like to just bring up a couple of things. Since that, meeting that you're speaking of, Dave,
Mhm.
I think, I know I have heard, I am positive Tiffany has heard multiple other options. For example, increase the pay and deduct the amount of insurance for those who want to take it, then some don't have to take it. Am I correct about that, Tiffany? So increase the pay. This was the idea from one of the council members. Increase the pay. If the person wants to take insurance, then they would be deducted that amount. It's through this, take city insurance is what I'm saying. They would deduct that amount. We went through all of those numbers. I didn't, you did, and you spoke with Ab, right, our city attorney, about that?
And our insurance.
And insurance, and that was not a viable option.
Okay.
Are you aware of all that?
I had heard that we can increase our pay, period, and if we want to have insurance, then that would be upon ourselves to go out and singly source what we want as individuals. But the city could not deduct from our pay increase and buy insurance for one or two or three of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. So that option was thrown out there. It did not work out for multiple reasons. So that was out there. And you are absolutely correct. We're voting on increase only today, although there's been talk behind why the increase. So we can't ignore that, in my opinion. I would just like to tell you something from my personal. I did all the numbers, including what the increase would do, and actually if we increase the pay and followed through that we would have to get our own insurance, my take-home, because that's what I care about, is less. And for that reason, I'm very, I'm leaning one way for that reason. That's me personally. I can't speak for anybody else on council, but that's for me personally.
Yeah, the only issue I have with that is I thought that we were looking at this as a reduction to the city, and our impact was irrelevant.
I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay.
I would just, for the hours that I work for the city, to reduce my pay is unacceptable to me. So, sorry. Tina, you have it?
Yes. Starting back where this was proposed last fall as a cost-saving measure, by this I mean simply dropping insurance for mayor and council was proposed last fall, and all but one or maybe two were in agreement. One of those that was not in agreement was me, but it was not proposed with a salary increase to offset any losses we may have. In that year, I also discovered, which I should have known or asked about prior, that my personal insurance is costing the city $23,000 a year. Meanwhile, Blue Cross Blue Shield, our current insurer, paid out less than $1,000 since they're my secondary insurance. So even from a personal perspective, it's a huge waste of money. So we are voting on a pay increase only, but all of the discussions and all of the agreements were that we have linked an agreement, and we were all in agreement most recently when it was brought up, except for one, I don't know about two, whatever. We were vastly in agreement that dropping the insurance with a corresponding increase in pay would be the right thing to do for the citizens. So our pay increase would total $42,000 a year. The actual cost of insurance for the council as selected this year is $98,000 roughly. So that would be there's an average of a 4% insurance increase per year, just across the board for insurance companies. So that really brings the savings for 2026 to about $60,000. And that's only based off what current mayor and council has selected. We have 4 seats that could bring 4 new members or existing members. Existing members or new members could choose to have health, vision, and dental insurance, not only for themselves, but for their spouses and children, fully paid for. I've been in the workforce for 45 years and have never had an employer pay the full premium for me, my spouse, and my kids for health, vision, and dental. Never. It feels like a privilege and one that's costing the city greatly. So our minimum savings would be around $60,000. That's based on current selections. However, if all 7 members chose to be fully insured on the city's dime, that savings is $138,000. In the city of Houston, the average city tax for a home is less than $700, around $700. When you divide that out, I just always translate things into who am I affecting? I don't really want to go knock on the doors of 140 houses and say, thank you, but your entire property tax for the city of Houston has gone to help fund our health care. I hope you can afford yours. I can't do that. The increase of $500 is maybe not 100% of the premiums that you would pay for dental, vision, and health insurance on the marketplace, but it goes a long way to cover that, and we are public servants. So I can't vote in favor of costing the city $60,000 to $140,000 just because 1 or 2 council members wants to make sure that they have the city covering their insurance. It doesn't feel like good stewards of the citizens' money. Also, because we tend to be an older group, group insurance is priced on the whole group. And so by adding in a lot of us that are seniors or nearly seniors, we're increasing the premium paid by the whole group. So the premium the city pays for everybody that works in public works, for the police, for all of us, that premium is higher because we exist and we're on the plan. So we're not just going to see $60,000 to $140,000 in savings. I don't have a guess as to what the premium savings would be if you take out this group of 60-plus years. I don't know. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I cannot justify to the citizenry continuing. It feels a little like Congress, where not only do they get to vote themselves a pay raise, but they get to vote themselves a privileged insurance plan. And in good conscience, I have to say that I will be strongly for the pay increase because it saves our citizenry, like individual struggling families. It saves the money. That money, by the way, could be used to repair crumbling infrastructure. We all know several spots that need that. I'm pretty sure the $140,000 figure would get us a new police officer, fully outfitted with a car, all of his safety gear, everything. That money is better spent elsewhere. I will sacrifice for the greater good.
Dr. Sterling, do you want anything?
Well, personally myself, as I've shared with other council members that I've talked with, I don't have the insurance with the city, you know. I have the insurance with the school system that I work with. I just feel like we are public servants. We're not going to get paid like a profession, you know, because we're public servants. We're serving the community, you know. And $500, whatever that we get, you know, I just feel like, you know, it's just a thank you, you know. I don't really expect to, you know, make money off of doing this, you know. So, I'm just leaning toward, you know, leaving it like it was. Just leaving it like it was. Not make changes. That's what I'm leaning toward.
Anything else?
I guess, oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused, I guess, because when we originally met, we all said, let's proceed down this path. We actually spent extra money, and now we're changing our mind, and I don't understand it.
What do you mean extra money?
Well, we paid to advertise in the newspaper, we paid our attorney $200 an hour to write up paperwork. We've got our accountant sitting in one of our busier times of the year, working on looking at going to the pay increase and getting rid of the insurance, because we literally had 5 people that said this is the avenue we ought to go. And we gave our whole staff marching orders to go this direction. And now it confuses me that, I mean, I voted, all of us at this table said, let's go this direction. And now it sounds like 2 of us at this table are saying, let's change directions. And I don't know what changed.
Let me just clarify for me, Dave. I was also one of those that said, yeah, let's look into it. And I've looked into it now, and the impact, I didn't know the impact then when I said, let's look into it, but I do now. So I don't want you to think, especially you, because you think I change my mind a lot, but I wanted to pursue and evaluate what the options were, and I've done that. So I don't think that I've changed my mind. I just want you to understand that's where I was then. I didn't know what the impact was, and now I do.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
I just wish we wouldn't have gone this far forward, and just kept discussing it, because we've invested extra. And I do agree with everything Tina said in terms of it, you know, if we do stay where we're at, to your point, it does raise everybody's insurance, even though you elected not to take it. It will raise our police premiums and everybody. So I think it's just.
How so? How so?
Because when they look at the insurance for our city, for example, me, I'm the oldest one up here. And I will hurt the others because of my age. So when they look at the package, I raise the premium, not just for myself, but for everybody. So when I do that, all of a sudden Tiffany, Jennifer, our police force, all of them have to come under my umbrella. If I elected to do just the salary things, all of us that are on mayor and council would be taking off that list, and that's where the age group is in this, in the city hall. So it would actually lower the premium for the others. Not only that, we would see a cost reduction to our citizens. And I think your point was very well spoken when you said that you do it for the honor. Well, if in that case, we want to save them as much as humanly possible. And the way to do that is taking the increase. On the flip side, I understand what the mayor's saying from her viewpoint. I'm on Medicare, so to me, it can go either way. I do currently use, because the Medicare doesn't have the hearing and vision, I do take that portion. And don't hold me, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sure Tiffany could quote exactly to the penny. But I think I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of per month $90. And next year and the year after, my income that I'm voting for in terms of a salary increase will stay the same. My insurance won't.
That's right.
You know, as we've looked at the past, when I was working with Tiffany in the past, you're seeing around a 20% increase. So not only are you seeing the savings that Ms. Brown alluded to earlier, but if you look at 2026, 2027, those savings that she said go to our citizens will grow substantially. if we take the salary increase and don't stay where we're currently at.
Okay,
So that's the reason I'm voting for the salary increase.
okay, I understand.
So it just feels, as public servant, that we need to think about the citizenry and the struggling families out there more than we need to think about ourselves. It feels selfish.
I don't really think I'm being selfish. I'm also a struggling family. So for me to lose it, would make me struggle even more. But I am hearing this loud and clear. I really am. And I'm the one that continues to, when people says, oh, you're a politician, I'm the first one that says I am not a politician, I'm a public servant. So I feel that in my heart, honestly. I'm just gonna say, I really wish that we would have had this full discussion with full council. It didn't work out that way. Yeah.
Well, and if you recall the last meeting we had, that's one of the reasons that, I had spoke with, to the citizens about, if we do go with a pay increase, we need to somehow or another tie that into our workload. You know, this is a perfect example
Mm-hmm.
of how, we're spending money and our staff isn't here. Because you're right, we deserve that full discussion right now.
Yeah.
And we can't,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think, jokingly, you and I figured out, based on the hours that we were working about a year ago, we were making like 4 cents an hour. Do you remember that? Sort of.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
So, you know, I'm certainly not gonna reduce the hours that I put in for the city, regardless of the way this vote goes. I just can't do that. It's just not in me to do that. So,
I hear you, but I also will say that when you were electing or making the decision to run, I was right beside you.
I know.
And I was making the same decision. And I know neither one of us made the decision on income, on benefits, or anything. We made the decision on, we want to help the city and give back. And I don't think there would be any way better to give back than to actually give back. So, I mean,
You're right. We did right.
I would even go as far as saying that if we said, hey, we're just gonna do away with benefits and keep us right at the 500, I'd vote yes for that one too. So, you know, the only reason I even made a suggestion of increasing the pay was so people that needed the insurance that are on our council, or future people, they would have $500 extra to go out and buy insurance. So I no way, shape, or form want anybody not to do it. But then on the flip side, for all you out there, if you're getting into politics or coming on a council or mayor for the money, don't.
No, public servants, not politics.
Yeah, public servants, don't. But if you're wanting to help and give back, it's a great place.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is just like in education. I mean, in education, it's a servant job. I mean,
Absolutely.
you make money, but not nearly the money for all the time and the work that you put into it.
I'm thinking. Do we want to consider, I'm just asking, do we want to consider the impact to, let's remind everybody, by the way, this does not take effect until January, correct? Do we want to consider the impact to the council members that would be here in January? Some of them already seated, what their impact is. And maybe you have not had that discussion with the council members that are not here. I don't know. Have you?
I have.
Yeah.
You have. Okay. Gina, have you?
One.
One. Are you able to share any of that information?
I don't like speaking for others.
I agree, that's why I'm asking.
And I don't know if their minds may change or whatever, so, I can tell you that, I've heard both that they are in favor for the, increase in pay, salary, and that they're not in favor. Another one's not. And then one of them is, I don't know if it would matter to me or not, for whatever reasons. And quite honestly, my vote today is 100% based upon the residents and nobody at this table. So I guess if everybody but me was voting no, I would still vote this way. 'Cause I mean, I'm ready to make a recommendation and vote.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, I'm going through things in my head right now, so if you just would give me a second, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because I know I will probably be the deciding vote, I think. Again.
Well, if you don't like
Stop
that,
staring at me.
if you don't like that, I'll vote last. I don't have a
No,
problem.
it's okay. Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I make a motion to increase the salary for mayor and council.
I second that motion.
I didn't even ask yet. Is there a second?
Yes, I second.
All in favor of the increase of compensation for mayor and council? That passed. Thank you all for discussion, a good discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you for a good discussion.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. This is what I like to do every time, if we could. Do you agree?
We need to
Yeah,
do
it was really great.
We need to do more of that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we have a lot of people in the audience waiting for item number 3, and that would be the Kroger final plat. I would like to ask before we discuss, Mark from Kroger, if you wouldn't mind stepping up and giving, is that mic on?
It is, unless it's timed out.
Stepping up to the podium, if you don't mind giving us, an update from your side. And then after that, Hugh, I'll go to you. I think you have to hit the button.
Push that right button.
Is it lit? Okay, if you wouldn't mind
Does that
giving us
work?
your, yeah, there you go. If you wouldn't mind giving everybody here your name, please.
Sin. I'm with Southeastern Development out of Augusta, Georgia. I am actually one of the owners. I'm not Tommy Saul. You've seen him a lot here. And everyone, last several weeks, even though I'm sure everybody here felt like you needed rain, we didn't. But so the weather hasn't been totally cooperative for us, but the city has. We appreciate everything you guys have done. Your staff is very professional. You have a very can-do attitude, business attitude, and have been very excellent. We have projects right now going on in Tampa, Houston, Atlanta, Arlington, Virginia, different places, and it's just refreshing to find a community that's so pro-business. And we appreciate you, council members and the mayor, for that. And I've got with me today, I do the speeches, but I don't do all the work. Brandon McLeod, who's here, Paul Gianca, they work for me with Southeastern. I've known Brandon, I'm embarrassing. I've known him since he was about so big. And we're fortunate to have him.
like a year ago?
Yeah. No, he's tall. He's taller than his dad, believe me. But,
Wow.
No, he's been up here every morning, leaves here late at night, has worked extremely hard with the staff to get everything done. Tommy Saul has done the same. Tommy can't be here. He is on a deserved vacation with his family this week. So I'm a poor substitute, but I'm here to do my best. Taylor Jensen is also here with Kroger. Taylor, you want to stand up and introduce your staff real quick?
I'm the senior construction manager for the Atlanta division. Been with Kroger working with for like 25 years. Been working for Orwith. I've got David Reyes, our project manager, who's been walking along with y'all the entire time. And Caitlin Devnar is our assistant construction manager. I think David's been right at 10 years with Kroger or one of the other Kroger partners, and Caitlin's been over 15, over 13 years. So we're Kroger Blue, and we're really grateful to be able to be a part of this process.
And Paul used to be with Kroger before he came to work for us. He wore the blue. And now he's with us. We're fortunate to have him as part of the team. And also, Clyde's here today, surveyor I don't think he's had sleep last week. Hugh's done a great job working with him and kind of working through the process. Trevor, who's with the architectural firm, Robert Saloyo Ruth, who did the architecture, everything on this. So we're excited about the project. We're excited also about the opportunity to bring other businesses. This is the first of many. As we've talked about with your staff, you've got a lot. We've got a lot of business to do with you guys over the next several years to complete this, and I think I can speak for Kroger. We're excited to be a part of your community. We're very excited about that, and I'm sure we'll have continuing conversations and working through all the process. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for having us this morning.
Hugh, do you want to give us an update on where we are, please?
Yes. First, I want to thank everybody from Southeastern, everybody from Kroger, and confirm what Mark said, that I also don't think Clyde has slept at all. There are comments remaining primarily from EMI on the final plat. These are important things that need to be on the final plat. Things like the city does not maintain any stormwater infrastructure outside of the dedicated right-of-way. The city assumes no responsibility for overflow. Other things like bearing distances and line tables for various easements. While these are important, they are primarily technical and administrative in nature. For that reason, I am recommending that we approve the final plat, and it will not be signed until these comments are addressed. The vote to approve the final plat would allow us to issue the CO and go forward with the opening, pending acceptance by Georgia DOT of the traffic signal and the interchange right there at Peachtree Exchange, Peachtree Road, and Highway 53.
Hugh, can you clarify something? Are you saying these items are not done on the property, or they're not indicated on the final plat?
They are not indicated on the final plat.
But they're done on the property?
On all of these notes, yes, that should be the case. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, these are done. In the real world, it's a paperwork side of getting all this put together.
You did say administrative, and I did catch that word, but I just wanted to make sure. And is, just out of curiosity, why isn't it on the final plat yet? I mean, maybe no sleep. Maybe that's part of the reason. I don't know, but I would like to know.
I can't speak necessarily for their engineer or our engineer. If I were going to say, it's just the workload of getting all this together and getting everything done. It is very common that when final plats come for review, that there are things missing. places will go back and forth with myself or with our engineer, 2, 3, 4 reviews before they get everything right. That's not at all unusual.
And if you don't mind if I speak as well, when we first started this process, there was about 4 pages of comments. So they have worked diligently to get this down to 10. So it's just a long process for a big project, so.
Let's go back, if you don't mind, if you go back to the, light.
Okay.
Where is GDOT on that, if you know?
It is my understanding that GDOT was having their traffic signal division do the inspection on the light this morning. And when they provide us something in writing that says that that light is operational and that that intersection is safe for the traveling public, we will accept that.
So I believe the agreement was, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that we would not issue the CO unless the light was activated. I see Tina's head shaking, Dave's. So if we approve this final plat and issue them a CO, that was going against what we have agreed to without knowing the status of the light. That's just my opinion.
What I'm requesting is that we approve the final plat now. The CO would still not be issued without GDOT's okay on the light and that intersection. Until GDOT signs off on that light is functional and that intersection is safe, they will not get a CO because I don't think the city of Houston should assume the liability for that intersection.
Correct.
And Town Center Parkway just cannot, we can't have that much traffic right there.
Yeah, correct.
It can't support that. So issuing the CO would still be contingent on GDOT approval and that light functioning.
Are you working with GDOT yourself? Or is it mostly Jennifer?
We have all been in contact with GDOT, with their inspectors and their our division representative.
There's, and I'm sorry, I'm taking up all this, but there's been some chatter, that GDOT would allow it to go to yellow flashing. I just wanted to tell you, for me personally, that is not okay. Basically, that leaves that intersection the same way it is today, without any travel indicators. So if they wanted to do, I'm just giving you my thoughts here, so that you know, because even if GDOT says, okay, it's okay to do this, this needs to be okay with the city as well. Thank you for shaking your head. So if they wanted to do flashing red to stop all that traffic, that's better than flashing yellow. That would be okay for me. Ultimately, I think we'd like just to see the light activated. So, and how do we make sure we're getting what we want with regards to the light? I get the CO. I'm sorry, I get the final plat. I get that.
It would be as simple as if that light is not functioning as designed, that we don't issue the CO even if the final plat is approved.
And, Mayor, may I speak? I would, because we have not been 100% in communication with the light operating, but Kroger, the representatives, I'm sure they can give us some clarity on that, on where we are with that. And I feel like I've heard that y'all are meeting with them today, but y'all give us good clarity. Is that okay, Mayor?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Push that button.
Better?
There you go.
Okay. Yes, the the inspectors are on site at the moment. And last night, after our email where I was requesting the written approval from the inspector who inspected the intersection, he confirmed with me via text last night that once he got clearance on the traffic signal, he would in fact send you the email. It won't be the final certification of the entire road because of the Atlanta Gas Light work, but he will come back after that is done for the formal written, but he will give you a written clearance about the traffic signal and the intersection itself. And that's specific because that's the most important piece. So they're out there now. And as we had talked to Jennifer and Hugh on site yesterday, you know, we understand if we can accept the plat while we continue through the process and giving Clyde some time. Some of our errors are really about making sure it's right and getting those pieces to you. So we appreciate your consideration on that. And so we're hopeful that the traffic signal is, at this moment, being inspected to be released. The police department is on site to assist with any concerns as people are navigating the change as they go live. Today is the day that meets the 7-day requirement where the posting has been up. So that's the DOT standard. There has been some changes in the way that they do that. It's a little different than it used to be. So those are some of the DOT changes, but we do expect to hear from them soon.
I'd say too, that DOT will not activate it like Monday or Friday,
Right,
so that's why they have.
yes. But can you give us some clarity, for the mayor and council? What exactly will the light be doing today?
It should be functioning, is my understanding.
So
It
it's
should
not
be
gonna be a
100%.
caution, it's gonna be actual
They don't-
functioning?
They don't do that anymore. They did change that, which is why the police officers help. They
Okay,
did change it. They moved from the blinking because it was a lot of confusion back in the day, and then that's what the notifications that are out the week before, they're very specific of how many days the notifications can be out. You actually can't notify earlier. Like, you know, some of us would look at it and say, we'd like to have it 14 days or 21 days earlier, but they have very specific guidelines, and we've met those guidelines. So right now, they're just doing the inspection, and Georgia Power has been there, so it should turn on when they're ready to release it. So
and that should be today?
that should,
Okay, so for just good clarity for the mayor and council, our staff is recommending that we will get a letter, and I did talk to Brent as well from GDOT last night, and he did say that he's waiting to send the findings until the signal is operating, so that will be today. So I guess what we're recommending, myself and our staff, to the mayor and council is that once we receive that letter, y'all would approve this, knowing that we will not allow operating of Kroger unless we get this letter from GDOT. And that should be today. But if there's any issues,
correct.
it's contingent on that.
And remember this, they won't turn it on if there's an issue.
Right.
But
Well,
if we go out and it's on, then the letter should follow,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It does, but the staff recommendation is that we cannot allow Kroger, we just want to make
The
sure
CO.
everybody's on the same page. We cannot allow Kroger to open, tomorrow morning if the intersection at Peachtree and Town Center is not safe. So if that light is not working, we do not have a letter from GDOT today, the opening will have to be delayed. Are we on the same page?
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Are you good with, and I'm not countering that too much, but I just want to clarify in the wording that when the traffic signal is released and you have the letter from GDOT, even if it's an email,
Yeah.
that you will release our CO? Because that might, if it's not today, it could be tomorrow. I just want to clarify what that might
Yeah.
mean, right?
Well, I think number one, priority is that GDOT needs to make sure that that intersection is open to the citizens to get to Kroger. We, as staff, are good to continue to work with you on the final plat, and give y'all some grace on that to move forward.
I have some questions on that.
Okay, let me finish my little statement real quick.
Okay.
That we are able, so what our recommendation is gonna be is that we have that GDOT letter in hand, that they are stating that it's safe. Our final plat, and Hugh, you correct me if I'm wrong, our final plat will continue to work with you, with Clyde and the team, to get that cleared. We're gonna give you, we're recommending to the council that we give a certain amount of time. What did we decide on that?
When we spoke to Clyde, he said it'd take about 2 days to get everything addressed so that if everything can be addressed by Friday,
So
then we can.
to get the final plat. So the final plat does not have to be recorded for Kroger to be open, per our attorney. We've already spoken to our attorney. but we'll give you till Friday. We've got to have it recorded Friday.
Would it be okay to have maybe just a couple extra days? And the reason I say that is that I believe some of this effort on everyone's part has to do with speed and errors on the plat and not wanting to waste anyone's time some more. I mean, I know Friday is great, but if you might give an extra day or two, that might help everyone make sure what we send is.
Well, we feel like we
Okay.
are giving an extra day or two
Okay.
because
Okay,
Clyde
thank
said
you.
2 days, so we actually came up with Friday to give those extra days. We prefer not to give any additional days
I understand.
because we need to get this done and recorded, especially since the grand opening day is on Wednesday.
Thank you.
So, Hugh, did you have any more to add to that part? I know you got some remarks too. Go ahead.
I think this is to you, Hugh, and I am fishing because I think I know the answer, so. But was our original opening date set for tomorrow?
I heard, opening dates as late as October when they first started this project.
And that's what I had heard, so did we request to move it up?
No, actually, the original opening date, and this happens a lot, was in October.
Mhm.
But the way that the properties tend to go, when you're the first in such a large property to open, you bear a bigger burden, even though a lot of these items will come again back before you with all the individual out parcels.
Mhm.
So there's opportunities for partners with Southeastern Development. So, but we're partners with the city of Houston. This was to try and support the community sooner, and because the building and the conditions in the building were more readily done faster.
Understand.
Part of it, the DOT approval kind of was a lot slower, and we did not expect the AGL, the Atlanta Gas Light, which is completely out of our control, that work to be so delayed. So we have a certain timeline that we have to announce an opening, and so that did get escalated. And so that's the nuance about kind of how we do it all the time. There's a tremendous investment in the property itself.
Well, and that's what I was getting to. This increase is a tremendous benefit to both Southeastern and Kroger. And we're asking the council and the others to jump through some hoops, which we willing to do to an extent, not to the extent of the traffic light. And I think Jennifer covered that very well, and that's got a period on it. However, as we're jumping through hoops, I'm one of the ones that says, if you're gonna make me jump, I'm gonna ask for something. And one of the things I would like to ask for, while we're trying to increase, getting you in and saving both of you quite a bit of money, is there has been a push in our city from everybody to get those poles black. And what I'm asking, the poles for the lights, they're silver right now, and the appearance is hideous. And what I'm asking is, if we're willing, because I can't speak for others, but if we're willing to work here, would you work with us on getting those poles painted black?
And he's saying that because our other, we only have 2 signals, one's black, one's silver. So our OCD is coming out.
I'm not sure that, we have to find out, so that's not something that I can actually answer, because, of course, think about it this way. If painting them is an option and potentially a type of paint can be used, then certainly we agree to that. But if you think about what it would take to take down the mast arms, we would go through this entire thing again. We'd have to shut everything
No,
down.
we're not asking that,
So,
or I'm
again,
not.
we will certainly investigate what is allowed.
That's all I think we're asking.
I've never been asked that, so I don't know how they're created, right? I think there's actually a premium for the one we have versus the masks that are black, but I'm not totally sure of that, but we'll investigate it. With just, to replace them, we'd have to start all over, really, with it.
If you would investigate that, we'd appreciate that, as we're looking over this.
But contingent, I mean, that's not something that we could do overnight.
No, I wasn't
Okay,
asking
that's
for
just-
tomorrow either.
He's
No.
just asking you
Yeah.
to look at, research it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer, I know you have something.
So I just received, a picture, and y'all are more than welcome to look at my phone. The light is on, so.
Thank you.
They're testing. So we have electricity, To the light.
Yes, they'll go around each section. They'll go around each section. That's part of where they were discussing with the police this morning of how they wanted to navigate the traffic while they went
Yes.
through the flow.
Yes. So, Hugh, if you will, just go back over one more time, just so we're on the same page, all that we are requesting, and we're on the same page, before y'all make a motion.
Yeah,
I
Tina
just-
has something.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at this list here, and while you're still there, just a general question. So we definitely need to get the vote through today, because that's like step one. CO will be held until all of this is satisfied,
we'll make
and the
a
light. Because some of these items seem kind of important. So my question is, since we can hold the signing of the final plat until after CO, Friday was discussed, what is the motivation to take care of some of these things? I mean, I see like retaining wall inspections and rights of way, which do matter, and there's some things that I definitely want to be sure get taken care of. What's the motivation once you have a CO?
We're very motivated from the standpoint that we've got a lot of other businesses.
They can't sell the property.
That are gonna want to close. For example, we've got 2 more parcels that the next couple of weeks we'd like to close so the businesses can start their construction or start their portion of it. And they can't close without that final plat.
Okay.
And we're gonna hold those for the others.
Okay, I just wanted assurance that it would all be addressed.
They're motivated today because they got perishables already in stock. We're motivated because we want to close this and have the business.
And
Thank
all
you.
that will be, it'll be very clear direction
Okay.
on what
And-
is the expectation.
And that it all has to meet. So it's the inspections, the work has been done. It's the rush to make sure everything's documented clearly and everyone is following the work that was done, that there's no nuances. A lot of those things that you read, there are nuances in how it's on the plat so that it's accurate, and giving Clyde the extra time and when Trevor and him working together to make sure everything's documented the way it should be in a final plat, which is a legal document, so that the next person who buys the property has their things documented. And that's the reason that the nuances are so fine, and that in many jurisdictions it's 3 and 4 going through. That's what's so important about that. So it's not that the work's not done, or if there's any adjustments, they're making those while this is going through the process to make sure. And that's Clyde's area of expertise, and Trevor is partnering as our civil engineer.
Mhm.
So.
Those nuances carry financial responsibilities, which is,
And remember, Kroger is carrying we carry a financial responsibility along with CETA for whatever long-term, the property, the landscaping work, and the water management. I believe we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay.
and although we don't want to, throw this authority around, but if they do not do this, we simply close the doors until it's done. So we have that leverage too. That's not where we want to go. But I'm just saying, we have that authorization to do that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of leverage that, if they don't get it done, that the city, can enforce.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Everybody good?
Yes, do you mind if you reads out one more time all the conditions, that will be mandatory to do?
So I'll give a quick summary of what I've recommended. The recommendation is to approve the final plat and hold it signing and therefore recording until the comments are completely addressed. We will be able to issue a CO once council has voted to approve a final plat. We are holding that until we have written confirmation from GDOT that the traffic signal is functioning and that the intersection is safe for the traveling public. From talking to Southeastern's engineer, it should take about 2 days to get all of these comments addressed, which puts us at approximately Friday for the signing and the recording of that final plat. And then the leverage we maintain is that until this final plat creates the rest of the lots of record in this development, building permits cannot be issued on any of the remaining lots.
Okay. Any other comments? So before I, make a motion, I would just like to thank all of you for the great partnership that we've had with you so far. I know this team has done a lot. But anyway, I wanted to thank you for that, and I expect it to continue, and I'm sure you expect it to continue. So, with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the final plat with, the understanding of the conditions that Hugh just went through to hold the CO until we have, confirmation from DDOT. We expect the items on the final plat to be completed by Friday. That's the best summary. So, that's the motion I make. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Dr. Sterling. All in favor? All right, there you go. With that, I would like to make a motion to adjourn. I second. Thank you. All in favor?